happened 40 years ago, but I remember it clear as a bell. It was Easter of 1984. And I was in the Unity Church of Walnut Creek for the first time. Zed and I had moved to San Francisco, Berkeley area about a year before, and we were looking for a spiritual community. And someone said, go check out the Unity Church in Walnut Creek. There's a real cool minister there. And I'll never forget. It was Easter, and the place was full. Everybody, yeah. And then this woman stood up to sing, and she was amazing. Carolyn Van Putten, about as big as my little finger. I mean, she was slender, about this tall. Voice, such a voice. And it was big, and it was classically trained, and it was beautiful. But more than that, when she sang, she disappeared. You just didn't even see her. This beautiful, radiant African-American voice that was just exquisite, but it didn't matter. It wasn't about her voice, and it wasn't about her. She disappeared into the music. She became the music. And at that point, I'd been singing professionally for 10, almost 12 years. I won and lost the recording contract. I had a notebook full of newspaper clippings and reviews telling me how great I was, and I was certain of how great I was. I knew everything was so. And I thought I knew about music. But then I heard Carolyn Van Putten sing in a way that was so different, because the music business that I'd been working in was all about, look at me. And look how well I can move, and look at the lights, and aren't my lyrics clever, and aren't my fingers moving well on the guitar strings? But Carolyn pointed in another direction, because she disappeared into the song itself. So only the melody and the spiritual message came through. And the message was basically, forget about yourself and forget about me, the singer. Let's feel our oneness with Spirit. Open to this moment. Something shifted deep inside of me, and yeah. So within a couple of weeks, I had hired Carolyn, as my musical mentor, voice coach. And she said, you got a fine voice. You just got to learn how to disappear. I'm still working on that. You know, the ego is big and strong, and it keeps wanting to push its way to the front. But between Carolyn Van Putten and Dr. Carol Ruth Knox, who is the senior minister at Unity at Walnut Creek, a very powerful teacher, I began to understand this thing about serving something bigger than myself, something other than myself, first of all, but more importantly, something bigger than myself, something that had some meaning outside of how I'm feeling or how I'm looking or how the words are. Which is an interesting trick for someone who makes his living standing up in front of people and checking out my words and music at the same time. It's an intricate balancing act, and more than once I've fallen off the higher wire. But the good news is I learned from Dr. Carol Ruth Knox is that we're always operating with a safety net. You can't die, you can't fail. There is no failing on the spiritual path, no matter how terribly you might screw up. And I've pushed the limits on more than one occasion. There is the opportunity to come back to the present moment, and music has the gift of bringing us back in our present moment again and again. And over the years, I've learned a great deal about the nature and history of music, and I could talk about it for hours, but in my excitement, I'm going to try to keep it brief and not focus on the words as much as an experience of sharing the music. And it's fascinating that it has been proved through the rigorous science of phylogenetic research, DNA research, that we humans had the capacity to sing before we could speak. That we created musical instruments before we learned to farm. Long before we had industry or agriculture or commerce of any sort, we were singing. And we were playing bone flutes and drums 40, 50, 60,000 years ago. We humans had a deep-seated need to sing of what we knew and felt and were searching for, even before we had words. Because the current theory is that singing allowed humans to communicate important information. You could sing a song about where the buffalo were over the hill over there. You could sing about the important thing you had learned from your father or your mother and her mother before her, where the nearest clean water well was, or a spring. You could learn about where the dangers were through the songs that were transmitted. We were able to sing meaning and carry collective stored memory through rhythm and through melody, helped us remember intricate chains of knowledge and communicate intricate chains of knowledge. We take it for granted now, right? You can pull out your cell phone and you can communicate with somebody in Timbuktu instantaneously. We have libraries full of books that those of us who are literate are able to read, and we can pass them on to other people. Hey, look what we know. But think 60,000 years ago, before there was writing, before there were written words or spoken words, we could sing our feelings, our knowledge, and most importantly, and this is an interesting part to me, it appears from the archaeological records that the first musical instruments and the first art was funerary in nature, that people were buried with musical instruments and art, as if there was some knowledge that the person who was being buried needed music in the afterlife, that somehow in order to communicate with whatever spirits or isness or godness or divineness was on the other side of life, this mystery that 60,000-year-old humans didn't understand, but they knew they had to sing to it somehow, that even the dead bodies had to somehow lift their voices and their feelings up to what was present on the other side of the veil. My mind explodes. Think of it. That the need is so deep-seated. It's as if we humans tapped into some need to communicate with the spiritual realm that we couldn't do with our labor and our hunting. We had to find a way to sing it. The oldest known continuously practiced religion on the planet is Hinduism. And Hinduism is a multi-deistic religion which was founded on the understanding of the first sounds being turned into language called Sanskrit. And it is thought, the ancients taught for 5,000 years or more, that the Sanskrit language was chanted into being one syllable at a time. A whole language was built out of chanting one syllable of time and seeing where it resonated in the body, that the Om resonated here, and the Vum resonated here, and the E somehow resonated with that forest spirit over there. It's incomprehensible from our linear, scientific, now Western way of thinking and analyzing and recording data, but to think that people chanted into being a way to communicate their deepest longings and desires. And there's libraries full of information written about this. I'm trying to speak in 2 or 3 minutes what took thousands of years to develop and untold thousands of books to write about. But the concept is that we are, in this moment, are called afresh to celebrate who we are and how we are through the gift of music, regardless of whether we can sing or not. I know for a fact that there are a number of people in this room who were told when they were 5 years old or 8 years old, keep your mouth shut. Don't sing while the rest of the group, you just pretend you're singing because you don't have a good voice. And the ancients would tell you, we all have a voice and we're all being called to sing our praises to life, to the higher power of our understanding. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spotlight, but it just occurs to me to tell folks who may not know that during COVID, Michael had a major COVID hospitalization. And while he was in the hospital, he had a major stroke. And for weeks and much longer, Michael couldn't speak at all and he couldn't communicate, but he could still play drums and he could still vocalize music because deep inside of Michael is music. Now, Michael is not the exception. Michael's the truth of all of who we are, regardless of our talents. Each of us has a voice. Each of us has a heart that longs to be sung out loud. So, I'm going to ask you to join me in a little experience. Think of a vowel, A-E-I-O-U. I'm guessing we've got a couple of Y's in this room because we're just those kind of wise guys. Think of your vowel. And now on the count of 3, speak it out loud. Just whatever your vowel is. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Now, this time on the count of 3, instead of saying that vowel, just kind of let it float out of you. I wouldn't say sing, just let it float out of you, a little elongated. Same, don't change your letter now, just because it's just on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now this time, I'd invite you to close your eyes and let that note just flow out of you until you run out of breath. Then take a breath and do it again. Don't worry about doing it right. Just just let that sound flow out of you. 1, 2, 3. And finally, one more time. This time, see if you can listen to that spot where the sound you're making is just as loud but no louder than the sound you're hearing from everybody else in the room. See if you can surf on that wave. There's a harmonic wave that happens as you just listen and match the volume of the room around you. And listen to what it's doing to your body inside. Again, there's no wrong way to do this. 1, 2, 3. Now, just check out on the inside of your body how that feels. Now take a moment to feel how that feels, listening to the flute coming from outside of you. How is it different to be listening as opposed to singing? Keep listening with eyes closed if you can. We are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web, we are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web. Won't you sing it? We are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the air. We are the weavers, we are the web. We are the weavers, we are the web. Feel what a difference it is to be generating music from the inside out, as opposed to listening passively. In our culture, we have become attuned to listening to the experts play on stage or beam their songs out of our iPhones, out of our iPads and televisions. And here, on Sunday mornings, and wherever circle gathers, we have an opportunity to be radically counter-revolutionary by simply remembering what it's like to sing from the inside out, making a joyful noise. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So I invite you to take a moment with eyes open or eyes closed to let go of your ears and hear with the ears of your heart. Once again, where everything is music. Don't worry about saving these songs. And if one of our instruments break, it doesn't matter. We have fallen into the place where everything is music. The strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere. And even if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. So the candle flickers and goes out. We have a piece of flint and a spark. The singing art is sea foam. The graceful movements come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. Poems reach up like spindrift and the edge of driftwood along the beach, wanting. They derive from a slow and powerful root that we cannot see. Stop the words now. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirit fly in and out. So let's take a moment now to feel how we each have fallen into the place where everything is music. Feel the words of this poem offering us this quality of resting, of touching in, this sense of knowing of everything happening by itself. We know that we can let go. We can witness. We can be present without trying so hard to make everything happen. Allow Rumi's words to help us understand. If we realize we've fallen into the place where everything is music, then maybe our idea of what it's supposed to sound like isn't the most important thing anymore. And if one of our instruments break, it doesn't matter. This requires a shift in orientation of letting go, of wanting to save these songs. And instead, we listen to the graceful movements of this singing art. It doesn't mean that there may not be also some human disappointment, some worry and some pain going on. Each situation deserves our compassion. So this is the practice. Tune in to your inner ear, the ears of your heart, where everything is music. and open the window in the center of your heart. And as you open, as you let it fly, won't you feel gratitude for all that you have? Be grateful as you open your heart. And then send that gratitude, send your compassion out into the world, allowing it to ripple into the sea foam. Allow it to fly, letting go. For this and so much more, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.